Hi, so today we are working on core strength and posture, all beginner friendly. So we're going to start with some roll downs. All you'll need for this is a mat or soft carpet and yourself. So let's get started. So we're going to stand with the feet together, first of all, nice and tall, with the crown of the head coming to the ceiling and the chin tucked in and the head pulled back, as though it's resting on a car headrest, okay? And then you're going to bring your toes apart and your heels directly behind. So that means your feet, knees, hips are all in a straight line. Then we're going to think about the core muscles. So we're going to think about the belly button, and we're going to pull that into the spine 100%, like all the way. So imagine you have a belt resting around your waist or placed around your waist, and you're pulling that belly button in 100%, so you're pulling that belt onto the 10th hole. And then we're going to release it down to the 5th hole, and then we're going to release it down to the 3rd hole, 30%, okay? Then we're going to think about the pelvic floor muscles, the front and the back passage. And we're going to lift those up. So it's not a squeezing, it's a lifting. Up, 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 100%. Imagine you are taking it all the way up to the 10th floor in the lift. All the way. And you've reached that top floor and you've lifted as much as you can, front and back passage. And then you're going to slowly bring it down to the 5th floor. Still not quite happy there, going to bring it down to the 3rd floor, okay? Where you're going to have a nice coffee and spot of lunch in the superstore, okay? So, abs, pelvic floor engaged. We're just going to roll those shoulders up to the ears and slowly roll them back and just gently slide them down your upper back. Okay, so if we do that quickly, all that's going to happen is you're going to go up and roll, you'll go up and roll, and they'll just come back to that. So we want to lift them up, gently roll them, but not so much that we are protruding our chest, okay? So they're just gently rolling back, and you're just going to keep them there for a moment and gently slide them down so that you are kind of just keeping them slightly pulled back. And then we're going to think about that head, pull your head back, chin tucked in, okay? So we're going to do some roll downs, okay, which is a wonderful way for mobilizing the spine. So you've got your abdominals in, pelvic floor up, check, okay, and we're going to have a soft bend in the knees, so that means they're not locked, they're slightly relaxed, okay. Inhale to prepare into the ribs, arms are just relaxed by your side. Roll the chin down to the chest and let your arms just dangle, and exhale. If you can, keep your bottom tucked under. If you need to, place the hands on the legs for support for your back, otherwise just dangling in front. So we're trying not to stick our bottoms out. We're just going to roll gently down. It doesn't matter how far you go. It doesn't matter if it's a centimetre, an inch, whatever. Our idea isn't to reach the toes. If you do, you do, but that's not the goal. We're just mobilizing the spine. And then just dangle there for a second. Keep the chin tucked in. Inhale. And then exhale. Slowly keep the chin in. Restart. As you roll up and your fingers kind of get around to the thighs, you're going to just bring that pelvis forward, tuck the bottom under, roll back up, straighten that spine, roll those shoulders back and down. Okay? And then we'll do it again. Inhale to prepare. Hands on thighs if you need to. Abdominals, pelvic floor still engaged. Exhale. Rolling down. Over, 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 over. Like imagine you've got a little chest of drawers. You're just gently rolling over it. And then if you'd like to, here at your furthest point, you can bend the knees, come into a little squat. Keeping the chin tucked in. Begin to straighten the legs. Keep that soft bend in the knee, arms relaxed, roll back up. Restacking each vertebrae on top of each other like building blocks. Bone on bone on bone on bone on bone. Roll those shoulders back, and we'll do a couple more. Inhale to prepare. Roll the chin. Exhale. as you roll. Try not to stick your bum out, even if that means you don't go down so far. Remember, the length that we go down to isn't the goal, to reach the toes. The goal is just to loosen up the back and the spine. Okay, and then bend the knees if you'd like to. If not, that's totally fine. Begin to straighten up the legs. Keep a soft bend in the knees. Inhale, slowly begin to exhale as you roll back up. Restack, bringing your tailbone under. We don't want to leave that behind as you roll back up. Shoulders back, head pulled back, chin tucked in. And this time we'll just do a normal one with no bend, okay? So we'll do 2 more. So inhale to prepare. Exhale as you roll down. Inhale, no bending this time. Exhale, roll back up. Restack, restack, bone on top of bone, on top of bone, on top of bone. Shoulders back, chin tucked in. Inhale, roll the chin. Exhale, rolling over. So you're gently leaning forwards. Just a little way. And then inhale, exhale, rolling back up. Wonderful. Now, we are going to lie down on the mat and we're going to come into some pelvic tilts. So we're going to lie on the mat with your feet together, arms down by your side. Now bring the toes apart and the heels behind. And that's the best way that you can get yourself nice and aligned, okay? Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of guesswork, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to have the arms gently by your side, and we're going to think about the abdominal muscles. So we're going to pull that navel into the spine, 100%. Then we're going to release it down to 50%, just like we did when we were standing. Down to 50%, and then 30%. So if you think about the belt, you've engaged, you've pulled the belly button in, and you've tightened that belt. Oh, it's a bit too tight. That's on the 10th hole. You're going to release it down to the 5th hole, and then release it down to the 3rd hole, and leaving it there. Then you're going to think about the pelvic floor muscles, the muscles that stop you from going to the toilet. And you're going to lift up the front and the back passage 100% all the way to the top floor in the lift, or if you imagine that you're bursting for a pee, or the toilet, in fact, because it's both passages. And then you're going to ease off down to 50%, and then a little bit more, 30%. So you're engaging a little bit. It's not cramping, okay? Arms are gently down by your side, shoulders back, chin tucked in. So we're just going to do some pelvic tilts. So just tilt the pelvis away from you, and then bring it back to the start position, and then away and back to the start, away and back to the start. So just be aware of how that feels. So you're not pushing through any pain, you're not forcing. What you're doing is gently arching the back, okay? So we're mobilizing the spine, the lower back, the lumbar spine. Easing out tension here, if there is any. If not, wonderful, but we're still mobilizing. We'll do one more, and back to neutral. So that neutral position is where your back isn't arched, but you're neither squashing it either. So just gently touching the mat, like your lower back is just giving that mat a little kiss, okay? And then this time we're going to roll the pelvis back. So this time you are going to squash the back into the mat. So you're going to gently squash it, keeping your abdominals, pelvic floor engaged, and then back to neutral. Roll it back. So this is a posterior pelvic tilt, and back to center. Roll it back, back to center, rolling it back to center, posterior pelvic tilt, back to center. 2 more, 1 and 2, and then back to neutral. So take your time, find neutral position. And now we're going to come into some exercises. So abdominals, pelvic floor engaged. We're going to start by waking up the core and working it, and we're going to come into half curl up. So the feet are staying down, and then what we might do is we will lift the legs up if you feel good to do that. But start with this version. If that feels good, then you can lift the legs into a tabletop position to double leg fold. So neutral spine, you're going to have the hands placed on the thighs, chin tucked in. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, peel the head and shoulders off, making sure you don't tilt the pelvis. You're going to slide those hands up, up, up towards the knees. Little pause there and roll back down. Try not to round your shoulders. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you peel up. Slide the hands to the fingers to the knees. Pause. Slide them back down. And again, inhale, exhale, peel, roll. But make sure you don't tilt the pelvis. So the pelvis, your back, remains in exactly the same position. And again, inhale. So you'll feel it in the front of the body, in the abdominals here, the upper abs, and peel. And then as you hold, then you feel it in the lower part, there stabilizing your spine. And roll back down. Keep thinking about your pelvic floor and your abs. Peel, chin tucked in, and we're not lifting with the neck. Really focusing on the abdominal muscles. If you feel that's beginning to pinch on your neck, you can just cradle your head in your hand, but try to avoid pushing. Okay, we've got 5 more. Inhale, peel, access the abs, feel the tension. Exhale, up, pause, roll back down. And we'll do 4 more. Peel, up, roll back down, peeling, up, roll back down. Last 2. Inhale, exhale, up, roll back down. 1 more. And roll back down. Lovely. Okay, from here, we're going to come into double leg fold. So, core engage. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, float the right leg into a tabletop position. So the knee is over the hip and the shin is parallel to the ceiling. So you're not dropping it down like that. And then I want you to inhale to prepare and exhale, if you can, try to slide those ribs down towards the hips, imprinting, and bring the left leg into a tabletop position. Knee over hip, shin parallel to the ceiling. Okay? If that feels too much, bring the feet down. So we're going to have the arms up and we're going to inhale. As you exhale, peel up, bring the hands to the outside of the calves, pause, roll back down, bring the arms back. Inhale, exhale, peel up. Make sure your back remains in neutral. If you're struggling, bring the feet down. Inhale, exhale, reach. Whoops, I forgot to bring my arms back that time. Okay. Inhale, exhale, peel. Challenge yourself within the realms of your capabilities. Peel. Roll back down. We've got 5 more. Inhale, exhale, peel up. Hold, make sure those shins don't drop and they don't come too far in, okay? 4 more, peel, hold, roll back, inhale, exhale, peel, roll back. 2 more, inhale, exhale, peel, up, hold, roll back, inhale, exhale, up, hold, roll back down. 1 arm down, other arm down, chin tucked in, 1 leg down, other leg down. So we're always bringing 1 leg up at a time and 1 leg down at a time. And that's to make sure that your back doesn't have too much pressure on it, especially as a beginner, okay? Obviously, when you become more advanced, then that's, you'll be fine. So, next exercise we're going to come into is we're going to come into toe taps. So, nice neutral spine. We'll start off with 1 leg down and 1 leg in tabletop. So keep the left leg down, coring, keeping that back nice and stable. Bring the right leg into tabletop, shin parallel to the ceiling, knee over the hip. Keep the arms down for now. So this exercise can be quite tricky. You want to make sure that your back doesn't arch when you tap the toe to the floor. Also, we want to make sure that that toe doesn't drop, okay? So inhale, so we're keeping that shin parallel to the ceiling. Exhale, and gently tap, pause, bring it back. But don't bring your knee right in, it stays in tabletop. Exhale, keeping your back in neutral. We want to arch, tap, little pause, bring it back up. So I want you to imagine that your abdominals are doing the pulling. It's not your leg. And try not to feel it at the top of the thighs. So try to keep that leg as relaxed as it can be. And back. And then we're going to bring that leg down. We're going to do the same with the other leg. So left leg in tabletop. So imagine like your leg is a bit like a drawbridge, right? So you have your abs are engaged and you have a rope that is attached to the leg. And it's the abdominals that are pulling that leg up, okay? And then exhale, gently tap, keep your back in place. And inhale back. We don't want to do it too quickly. We're trying not to let the calf touch the thigh, okay? Inhale, exhale, tapping, inhale back. You go steady and as slowly as you need to. There's no rush. One more. Exhale. The important thing is an inhale and bring that leg down. The important thing is that you do it with stability and control. So if that's challenging enough for you, you're going to stay with that version. Otherwise, this time we're going to bring both legs in tabletop. Right leg into tabletop, knee over the hip, shin parallel to the ceiling. Now we want to try and imprint. So get your thumb underneath the ribs and your 2 index fingers on top of the hips. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, think about pushing the ribs into the thumbs. Then bring your arms down and bring the left leg up. And that just stabilizes the spine. So we're going to do the toe taps once again. Shoulders are down and away, chin tucked in. Exhale, tap the right, bring it back. Exhale, tap the left. Bring it back. So we've got to keep the other leg stable whilst we're tapping with the other one. And back. Take your time. Exhale. Tapping. And back. One more like this. Each leg. Tap. And down. And tap. And back up. Right leg down. Left leg down. Good job. Okay. So from here, we're going to do one more thing on our back and then we're going to roll over onto our side. So we're going to bring the right leg into tabletop position, shin parallel to the ceiling, knee directly over the hip. And we're going to come into a single leg stretch. So keep your arms down for now, and then if you choose and your body's feeling good, you can bring your arms up. Inhale, exhale, extend your right leg. And bring it back. I'm just going to shuffle up a little bit because I feel like my toe might be out of shot. Exhale, extend. You can keep that leg fairly high. We don't want it to go vertical, but we don't want it too close to the floor, okay? That's more advanced. So exhale, extend, and slowly bring it back. One more on this leg. Exhale, extend, and back. And I bring the foot down. I'm just turning my head to look at the camera, but of course you'll keep your spine aligned and keep your eyes just central. Left leg into tabletop, shin parallel to the ceiling, knee over the hip. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, extend the left leg. Inhale, back to tabletop. Exhale, extend, watch your back. Make sure that doesn't arch. So keeping your mind on your whole body, not just the leg. One more. Exhale. Good. Now we'll keep that leg where it is. If you're finding that exercise challenging, you might do a couple more on each leg. Otherwise, we're going to keep that shin parallel to the ceiling, imprinting, ribs towards the hips, bring the right leg up. Okay, so we're going to try with both legs. Exhale, extend. Inhale, back. Exhale, extend. Inhale, back. Now keep your arms down, or if you feel strong, keep your arms off. exhale, extend, and that takes away a little bit of support. You might only do that for 1 or 2 and then come back to hands down, or that might be enough for you. That's totally fine. We all have to start somewhere, and it's baby steps, okay? Strength can't be built overnight, it takes time. Same with posture, keep those shoulders back, speaking of posture, arms down, legs down, because in everything that we do, our shoulders are rounding. Eating, working, driving, so we just got to remind our bodies that, hey, shoulders, you can go back, okay? So we're going to come into clam now, so we're going to come onto the right side, and I love this exercise because it's great for the glutes and getting strength in the glutes as well as mobilizing the hips. And when our glutes are strong, our posture is so much better because we stand nice and tall. So we're going to have those feet together, and we're going to exhale and bring that leg up and lower. So I'm just going to do a few of these. 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 15, and then we'll come onto the front, and then we'll go to the other side. 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. You can do more if you'd like to. I'm just going to do 15 for here because it's just a short video. You can always pause and do more on your own if you want to. 2, try not to let that body go back. 1, wonderful. Then we're going to roll onto our front, okay, and you're going to bring your head down and your tailbone tucked under. You're just going to bring yourself up onto your forearms, okay? Your legs are directly behind you, and your arms are placed just underneath, just in front of your shoulders. So this is great for posture. If that feels a little bit tight on your back, you could bring your arms a little bit further away from you. And then your legs are kind of parallel with each other, and you're going to try and separate the shoulder blades. Great for posture, and bring those shoulder blades apart. And then I want you to think about the skin on your arms and pull the skin back. So you feel like the weight of the body is resting on your elbows. And you're not trying to force a crunch in your back. You're thinking more about lengthening through the front of the body. Like you're gently asking your chest if it will go forwards. And then we're going to bend the right knee, and we're going to bring the toes into the bottom and do a little kick. 1. Then you're going to release it just a little way, and you're going to bring the heel into the bottom and kick and lower back down. Still keeping those shoulder blades away from each other and making sure you're not hunching down. And then the left toe and heel and lower, and right toe, heel, lower. Try not to wiggle and try not to rock. Okay, left, right, chin slightly tucked in, left, 1 of each, toe, heel, right, left toe, heel, right, toe, heel, down, left toe, heel. And roll back down, bring your arms on top of each other. Just rest there for a moment. We call that single leg kick, which is wonderful for your back, great for introducing really good posture, which we all need, let's face it. So we're going to come onto our other side now, and we're going to come into the clam on the other side, so your right side. So you can roll over, but I'm just coming to the other side of the mat. I think I've done that side, but I'm coming to the other side of the mat. Sorry, the left side. So you've done the right, now you'll be doing the left, or whichever side you've done, forgive me, you're going to do the other side. Obviously, you're not going to do the same side. So we're coming into clam. So like I said before, you're going to have your feet underneath your bum and your tailbone slightly tucked under. And you're trying not to roll this part of the body. The hand is in front of the chest and the elbows in, because we don't want to press all our strength in here. You'll be out of alignment because your elbow will be out, but also we want to try and use our core, right? That's why you're doing it. So if the arm's just in, there's a better chance of you doing that. So we're going to bend that knee, push it up and lower back down. So try not to rock, glutes, abdominals in. 2. If you want to do more, you can, but make sure you do the same on both sides. And your elbow wants to be in alignment with the armpit. We don't want the elbow in front. 4. Squeeze. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 5 more. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Lovely. So that is all done. So I hope you have enjoyed this wonderful little repertoire I've done for you. And anytime you want to feel taller and you want to kind of improve your posture, you're feeling a bit slouchy, you can come back to this video anytime. I also teach in Nidderdale in North Yorkshire in glass houses on Thursdays at 7 p.m. And I teach in Ripon in North Yorkshire on Mondays evenings at 7 p.m. and I teach in Hampswaite at 7 p.m. in North Yorkshire too. So if you live around those areas, feel free to contact me and join me. And you can contact me on email, joanna@nidderdalefitness.com, or you could check out my website, which is www.nidderdalefitness. I've forgotten, but it's Nidderdale Fitness. Having one of those days. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you soon.